Om Devis. Hello, everyone. Dear sisters, dear friends, dear women. I am Elisa, and it's such a joy to be here with you live today in this Devi's voice. I'm taking this moment to connect with my heart beating, with the birds singing around in this sweet spring day here where I live in Italy, in Sicily, in a beautiful island in the middle of the Mediterranean. It's always beautiful to give some space to the land we walk on in this very moment of life. Here I am, very grateful to be part of this ecosystem and to have the possibility to share this moment of my life with all of you, dears. And I invite you, if you are live right here, right now with me, you can simply listen to my voice. You don't need to watch at the screen. You don't need to sit and stay in front of the computer or in front of your tablet or phone. You can simply walk around if you have the possibility to be outside in nature, or to simply walk with your eyes closed or relax, listen to the voice. Even if you are watching this later on, if you're watching this recording later, you can do the same. And I invite you to do this to connect with senses that are other than our capacity to see. To connect with your ability to hear sounds and to look around the nature around you, if you have this possibility. I'm checking that technically everything is working. It seems so. So my name is Elisa. And maybe for sure, I'm a new face and a new voice for some of you. With some we met already live or during the fantastic trainings and programs of the Bee Woman Project, which has been a real blessing in my life. I feel so honored and so lucky to be involved since long time. Yeah, quite some years by now. And yeah, and therefore I feel honored and full of joy to be here sharing this space with you all. I can tell you some things about myself, which is tiny bits of the story of my life. I could tell you a lot of things, but I just want to share that I will be part of the upcoming Raising Witch Embodied Healer training, which is starting of the 7th of May. And I will bring in my love, my studies, my connection with the Bhumi Devi, with Mama Gaia, with Mother Nature. And I'm so looking forward to share a little bit more with you about my love. I hope some of you will join the training. It's going to be so touching and empowering at the same time. And during this training, we will touch upon different aspects of the relationship with Mother Nature. We will experience together the beauty of recognizing herbs, gems, roots, leaves, barks, flowers, and to understand how to use them to enhance our health, the health and the well-being of our body, of our spirit, of our mental well-being as well, emotional well-being. We will learn how to transform our herbal alleys to make infusions, for example, herbal teas, to make ointments, creams, and so many magics. And the main intention is not really that you will to accompany other sisters, other women into the path of becoming like an Ayurvedic practitioner, like I am, for example, an herbalist, a botanicals. This is a huge, vast field of knowledge, but it starts with a connection, with a personal, intimate connection with the elements, with Mother Nature, and with an establishment of a relationship that will be yours and only yours, because you have the legacy as a human being living into this planet to enjoy this relationship, to discover your powers as a woman, as a witch, to speak the language of Bhumi Devi, of Mother Nature. So why witches and nature? What does it mean to talk about witches today, and especially in connection with nature? If you think about witches, I don't know what comes into your mind. What comes into my mind is an old person, ugly, living alone, maybe in the forest, rejected by everyone, powerful, but also living in fear of persecution. This is a part of the story, of course, because witches are and were healers as well. Healers meaning those who were in charge or asked by the community to take care of the well-being and the health of the community members, of the members of a small village, for example, when at the time when there were no doctors, as we know doctors to be nowadays, or there was a conflict with the doctors who were mainly men, especially during and after the Middle Age, who were being educated in school in a very rational way. And I have deep respect for doctors, and also this way to understand the reality through our intelligence, through our buddhi. But we will see together how that is not the only tool that we have to become, to be, to keep alive the healer that is living within us. So witches were healers. And this responsibility, the fact of being a healer, came from a position of power. Because imagine living in a small village, in a small reality, knowing the fragilities of the other people around. Because healers, like maybe doctors still somewhere in the world, were the one who knew the secrets of people, who knew their fragilities, both in the body and in the mind, what was going on in their lives. And this gives a lot of power to people. So they were respected, admired, and also treated with some fear because of this power position they were living in, which changed completely in the current collective myth. So healers were women mainly, because we're the one who stayed, and were women who more often, sometimes they had a family, but often they lived alone. Sometimes when they had families, they were a widow, and they could have had daughters or granddaughters. So sometimes they choose to pass on the knowledge they had about plants, about natural remedies, about how to use plants, flowers, roots, rocks, minerals as well to heal to their daughters, granddaughters, or sometimes they were alone, and they adopted other girls as pupils, orphans, for example, in some traditions. So this knowledge was passed on from woman to woman. And as I was saying, it stemmed from power, from a position of power. What is different nowadays? Women are still, in the collective myth, considered caregivers, which is similar but very much different from healers. So I don't know about you, if you can recall some examples in your life or in your family. In my family, for example, all the one who have been in charge of taking care of the children, of the sick, of the elders, of old parents, sick parents, were always the women of the family. I can recall some aunties, some sisters, and this is considered normal nowadays because women are considered to be more empathic, more at service. So this is a very beautiful value to serve when it comes from fullness, when it comes from a conscious decision, when it comes from power. But very often nowadays, the fact of being a caregiver is not a choice. It's something that women are expected to do, which is totally different. So through this journey of reclaiming the witchiness in us, I invite you to think about this, the importance of reclaiming the fact of being a healer, not from a position of servitude, not service, but servitude, but as a conscious choice, coming from an understanding of the power that we have or that we can have of giving our energy, using our energies to support life in this planet, supporting life and the well-being of other people, other human beings, but of all the beings. Because as women, but also as human beings living into this planet, we inherited the legacy to work with nature, to live into this planet and to be in touch with the secrets of this planet, which is so vast, so rich, so incredibly rich. And a lot of this richness is for us to experience. Think, for example, that in this very moment, while you are listening to my voice, while you are here living your life, somewhere in this planet, there is a plant that is growing her vegetables. There is a tree that is growing and maturing its fruits. The fruits are ripening just for you to be eaten, to sustain your very life, not the life of someone else. There are fruits, there are veggies, there are grains, there are flowers blooming to create the seed that will become your food and is meant to be yours. You are the one that is going to eat that food and transform the energy of the earth in the energy that will sustain your life, your body, your mind, your consciousness. So right here, right now, without not knowing this living being that are living their destiny of plants or of animals as well, they are living and creating for you. You are taken care of because you belong here. You are part of your ecosystem. So you have the legacy and responsibility as well then to use your energy in the most beautiful, responsible way, taking care of the planet, of the other beings as healers. And you know, like I know, this can be very overwhelming at times because there is so much to know when we approach the realm of plants, of herbs, of natural medicine. There is so much to know. Like, for example, I'm sitting here under a big oak tree. Well, maybe you can see it, a little bit of this oak tree. This is only one single tree. There are thousands, right? There are millions of herbs, there are millions of flowers, of gems, and everyone is a microcosm, is an infinite microcosm. We could talk for hours about the properties of this oak tree, about the properties of the leaves, the barks, the roots, about the contraindication, about its energetic properties as well, because every plant can treat us in a very different way. We can use it to make herbal teas, to make tincture, all things that we will look more in depth during the Rising Witch Embodied Healer training. And we could use them, we can use their energy as well through essential oils to get in direct contact with our nervous system. For example, because before starting this small live, I use some essential oils of lavender to relax and calm down, but also of cinnamon bark to ground, because for me personally, it can be a little bit challenging to be in this space, in the internet, because it triggers a little bit the Vata in me. Vata in the Ayurvedic tradition is a combination of the energetic field of the elements of ether and air, which triggers a lot when we are in this space, which is in the ether, right? So to give the message to my nervous system, you still exist right here, right now in this ground, and please don't space out too much. I use the help of this wonderful tree, the cinnamon tree. And these are just some little tricks, but to say that we could read books, thousands of books. We could spend years of our life in classes to understand botanicals and become amazing botanicals, herbalists, and know every single secret about the part of the realm of plants, which is amazing. I think it is a very important part of knowledge. Of course, it is essential if as healers, as a professional healers, we want to, we are responsible for the health, and we are working with the health of other beings. We need to know the contraindications. We need to know the chemicals of plants, of herbs, of all these other beings. But the starting point can be different. You don't need to reach there to embody the healer that you are. You don't need to have all that knowledge. When we approach the realm of Mother Nature, we receive a gift among many other, which is the understanding of how vast the mystery of life is. There is so much to know. There are so many things to know. It can be so overwhelming to touch this big void, this emptiness, like when we don't know something, it can appear like a big black hole. And can be scary also to approach that big black hole, because no matter how much we study, no matter how much we deepen our knowledge, there are going to be things we will never know and we will never understand. And we don't need to know everything at all. That's why it is important to establish a relationship with what we want to know, what speaks to us. But this also gives the opportunity to reflect and to feel how to experience nature, how to learn nature. Because so many times, you know that story about the finger pointing to the moon? We can consider all the text, botanical text, medicine text, all that knowledge that has been passed on to us, like that finger, which is incredibly valuable. I have deep respect for it. But at the same time, we don't have to forget to look at the moon and to have a direct experience of it. And when we approach all the things we don't know, we have the opportunity to be in touch with the big void, with this blackness. And then to have a direct experience of the fact that we don't know. And if we don't know, we touch the power of the mystery. We look at the moon instead of looking at the finger, and we can start to experience nature through our senses first, through our own bodily senses. In Latin languages, the word witch comes from the root of strix. I'm Italian. In Italian, it is strega in Spanish, and this root strix means owl. So witch is also in the tradition were considered to be creatures of the night. But this doesn't mean night. What does it mean? This darkness doesn't mean anything bad. It also means the ability of these women to be in touch with the big vastness, with the black void, with the mystery, knowing by studying, but also by legacy and by direct experience. Nature, in fact, is a realm that is here for us as human beings. We are made of the same elements, so we can communicate. We will see more of this during the training, but are also meant to be understood by other beings. Plants developed, were born and developed genetically in a moment of history millions of years ago, when human beings didn't even exist. And they were to be understood by animals, by other plant beings. So they communicate chemically, energetically, and through the senses. Some plants are bitter, some plants are sweet, some are pungent, some are cold. For example, mint is cold, right? It gives you this cold feeling when you eat it. Licorice as well. Cinnamon is hot. Chili is hot. It's pungent. And these qualities are there to communicate. And we can start establishing a relationship with the plants that we want to know better, that we want to work with as a healer, and with the plants, with the minerals, using our senses to grasp before learning anything else. What is this being? What is this element communicating to me? What is touching upon me? And it will become magical and so beautiful. Sometimes friends or clients ask me, what can I use for my headache, for example? And that is a question to start with, but then I ask, okay, like, who are you? Where do you live? In which moment of life are you? Tell me a little bit about history of your relationship with, like, we have to go a little bit more in depth, because there are hundreds of known remedies that we can use for headache, but this is your headache, right? We are so unique. And so we don't also, as women who are approaching this field, I'm telling you, don't be afraid of knowing everything. Like, there is plenty of richness. So if you go for a walk, or if you are walking around in nature in this moment and you look around you, even without knowing which plants are around you, I'm sure there is at least one that would help you with headache, depending on what is the root for your headache. So you don't know to know everything. You just want to know what speaks to you. And it's extremely empowering to experience Mother Nature, Bhumi Devi, through our body-mind complex, through our senses first, and to reclaim also the ability and the luck that we have as women, as consciousness embodied in a women body, to have a strong access to our intuition, which is another means of knowledge that we will explore as well during the training. Because our intuition has been looked upon like something silly, childish, not important. And it was another way to diminish the power of healers, of witches as healers, and transform them into caregivers over the centuries and the decades, also the last decades. I want to invite you, if you feel like, to stop wherever you are in this moment and to close your eyes. If you are walking, you can stop and stand or sit down. If you are inside the building, you can also just sit down and close your eyes. Connect with your breath. Feeling your body, exiting your body. And every time you breathe in, spring happens into your body. Every time you breathe out, fall happens into your body. You let go. Leaves are falling when you breathe out. When you breathe in, there is a sprouting happening within. And when your body is full of breath, of prana, of life force, you experience the fullness of summer. Till the moment when you breathe out, you let go the energy of autumn, till you can experience the emptiness of winter, the deep rest phase. And I invite you to follow this cycle for some more breath. Until it becomes natural. And I invite you to sense if there is a season you feel more connected to. Maybe it's the season that you're also experiencing outside in the place of the world where you live. Maybe it's purely an inner season. Connecting with the cycles of nature is also a big gift that we enjoy as women, because we are more naturally inclined to experience in our body the cycles of life, the cycles of the moon during our menstrual cycle, the cycles of life during pregnancies, the cycles of our menopause, cycles of the planets and the stars. And I invite you to see if you can invite a plant being to appear during this playfulness, introspection, meditation. Maybe it's a tiny flower. Maybe it's a pine tree. Maybe it's a mineral, a gem. And I invite you to sense the qualities that it has, that it brings. Is it heavy, solid, or maybe moving in the wind. Is it moist or dry? Is it warm or cold? Is it soft or harsh and full of spikes and thorns? Can you recognize some of these qualities in you as well? How do these qualities, or one of these qualities, the one that is talking to you the most, how does it manifest in you? My oak tree is solid and really grounded, rooted deeply into the soil, into Mother Earth. I feel this quality manifesting into my life during my dinacharya, during my daily routine, the rhythm of my life, those actions that I do every day. And when I do it, I can identify myself with the quality that I share with this oak tree in this moment. Nature speaks through the language of qualities, of guna in Sanskrit. And we share this language. It is a common language that everything that exists in this planet and outside the planet carries. It's the basic code. And I invite you, when you want to meet an element in nature, plant, flower, herb, even when you are using some preparations, like a normal herbal tea, for example, to connect with the qualities that you want to invoke within you, the qualities of that being. And welcome it within you. It's a sign of recognition, of mutual understanding. It's a sign of the fact that we are one, we are connected, we always were, always will be. I invite you to gently open your eyes if they are still closed, and to let them wander around you until they find color, shape, surface where they feel comfortable to land on. Keeping connected with the quality that just arises in you. And I wish you a wonderful rest of the day. And I invite you, if you are curious about Rising Witch, the Embodied Healer training that is starting on the 7th of March, to reach out, write us, explore our website. You are welcome to ask, to be, to come exactly as you are. Send you a lot of love. And let's see if there are questions. If I'm able to see if there are questions. Maybe no. Devi's sisters, beautiful women in the world. Love you. Om Bhumi Devi Namaha. Om Bhumi Devi Namaha. Om Bhumi Devi Namaha.